Hi, my name is Angie Sanchez. This is video 3 of 3. So if you didn't see video 1 or video 2, I encourage you guys to go back and see that. I do a little introduction about who I am, and I've broken down my life experiences spiritually and in parallel to my life goals and things that I've experienced briefly. So check out video 1, video 2, and welcome to video 3, and thank you guys so much for watching this. So where do I begin? Let's see. Early 20s. I practiced Buddhism. At the same time, I came across this practice through a close friend at the time, where I related a lot of my life experiences that I'd had so far, as far as like being connected to the spiritual world and seeing things and experiencing things, and they had answers that I had not seen before that I had not connected with someone on that level with. So I really felt at home with this religious practice. I really felt like these are my people because they get what I've been through, and we can talk about these things, and it's not weird and it's not scary. And so anyways, I was involved with that for 7 years. It was a very, very controlling environment, a very fear-based environment, very primitive in the thinking, very old school, very not very negative, I would say, in some ways. At the same time, it was very beautiful. It was very connected to Mother Nature, and just the vibrational energy that you get was really profound. But at the same time, like I said, very controlling. And what do I mean by that? I mean that goals that I had, personal goals, were controlled in a sense that I wanted to get a bachelor's degree in communication studies, and that was prolonged because, this practice required my time and my attention, like almost 24/7. And I couldn't focus on my studies. Like if I had a test the next day, I would have to somehow cram learning that material and then learning like this practice material, religious practice material that's like learning a whole other language. So that was a challenge. Like I felt like I was going against the grain by wanting to do bachelor's degree and also being a good citizen in this world. And that went along with modeling and acting, because I wanted to be a model. I was modeling when I was 20, 18, 19, 20-ish, and it just didn't support that life. It didn't support those dreams. And I thought, because when you're in some sort of relationship or some sort of organization, you think they have the best interest for you, and you think that what they're saying is correct. And so I followed that and didn't pursue my dreams in being an actress at the time, but I was being of service in other ways. And so that was my experience with that. I felt a lot of friction, a lot of contrast. At the same time, I know that I manifested that for myself because I wanted answers to these questions I had. I wanted to experience what that was like, to be part of this culture that you're just like on a pedestal. Like I wanted to experience that. I remember verbally saying, like, I want to be part of a religion where I can be a priestess, where women can be priestess. And it's exactly what I got. And it was exactly what I realized I did not want. With time, of course. But how did I wake up from this thing that I was a part of? It really happened over the span of a year. I remember praying and saying, whatever it is that I need to see, I want to see it with my own eyes. I want to hear it with my own ears. I want to be able to know it for myself. I don't want to hear it from someone. I wanted to experience seeing the truth through my own senses. And so that happened throughout a year that happened. And the last thing that really came to my attention was that I was driving home from work, and it was nighttime, and I remember looking around me and just not being afraid anymore, because everything had been so fear-based in this organization that I believed it, and I was like terrified to make the wrong move at any moment. And in that second, like it really was a second, I remember this light bulb going off, and none of it made sense anymore. And I just wasn't afraid anymore. And what validated that for me was that the next morning, I had posted a Facebook photo a couple of days ago, and the next morning I had a comment from one of my uncles, my dad's brother, and on that photo, and he wrote, "Your dad would be so proud of you right now. Be so proud of his little girl right now." And I woke up to that, and I just started bawling, like crying, because it was like, oh my God, the whole, I want to see it, I want to hear it. It was happening. Like, I knew my dad had my back. Like, I knew I wasn't alone. And so getting out of this whole process, I was just like, always in prayer, God, give me love in my heart and peace in my mind, and cover me in your white light everywhere that I go. And so I was constantly remembering that, and constantly, even for the last 3 years, like that's kind of my daily mantra everywhere that I go. Lead with your heart. And so just that experience in itself taught me so much. It brought me so much contrast that it really just opened my eyes to a lot of things. And at the same time, it was very humbling. It was a very humbling experience to be in that situation and to kind of be the other person in those dark moments. I wish I could tell you guys more. It's like way too much to even share. But what can I say? The thing that came out of it was that I was then able to focus on my career. I was then able to wholeheartedly, devote my time to acting, and wholeheartedly devote my time to modeling and my family. I reconnected with my mom in a different way that I never had before. She suddenly became my mom. And I remember one time also calling my grandmother and telling her like what had happened, and she just broke down crying, and she was like, "I've been praying for this for so long." And I literally had to pull over. I was driving at the time. I had to pull over, and I was just overwhelmed with emotions and just crying so much that I couldn't see out of my eyes anymore, because there was so much water, like tears in my eyes. And that to me was just such a loving experience, because not once did they say, "Oh, what you're doing is wrong," or "What you're doing is destructive," or anything. Like, they were just like, "Okay, we're going to let you do your thing." But at the same time, like, they were just so loving and so inviting, and it just shows you like unconditional love. And that was just such a moment of a life lesson for me, just like unconditional love. And that's one thing that I love about my family. Like, there is no judgment at all. There are like so many different experiences that everyone's going through, and there's like no judgment. On the contrary, everyone's very loving and very supportive in their own way. And yeah, I'm just lucky to have had that experience where like that light bulb went off. So one thing that I had to learn to do was that I had to build my confidence back up after that, because for so long I had identified with this organization that I didn't know who I was in the world. Like, I didn't know my place. How do I walk? If I no longer associate with this thing, then who am I? Like, what is my purpose? And I really just went back to, okay, and you want to be an actress, do that, pursue that. You have the time now. Okay, you want to help people, do that, pursue that. Do it all the time. As much as you devoted your time to this thing, do it now. And so it's been 3 years. It took me 3 years to really get back on my feet and really just be able to enjoy life the way that a kid would. And not to say that I wasn't like this before, I was, but there were restrictions, you know, there were different things that came into play. And so now I'm just me. So I just, you know, I love religious practices. I know that there's a lot of beauty in them. I love the vibrational energies that are in worship. I go to church as an observer. I go to events as an observer. I have a different approach to organizations now because of my whole experiences, all my experiences that I've lived. So I am me, and I just want to share who I am with you guys, and I want to share my knowledge with you guys, and I want to share my readings. I read a lot on this material. Is what I do. If I could do it all day, every day, I would do it all day, every day. Yeah. So anyways, those are just some brief things about myself. Again, thank you guys for watching this. I am going to make videos about different spiritual things, also your daily life. If you have any suggestions, please leave a comment below. Thank you guys again for watching this. Sending you all lots of love and lots of light. Bye.